To build a light vehicle assembly station, we need to have a CV with a 75 construction materials. We hop into the CV and we press a B to open the build menu. We come to the facilities category, and if we hover over the light vehicle assembly station, we can see that we can make a material pallet and we can upgrade the normal truck to the 2 upgraded trucks. And we can assemble the small gauge train locomotive, the small gauge container carts, and the small gauge flatbed cart. To build it, we left click on the light vehicle assembly station icon. This will put the blueprint underneath our mouse cursor. As per usual, if we hold down the right mouse button, we can change the orientation of the facility. If we look at the back, we can see that that is where the power connector is. And we can see that at the front is the ramp to drive up the vehicles that are going to be upgraded or to drive off the vehicles that are upgraded. To place it, we can see that it needs to be on the foundation, so we make sure that it goes yellow, which means that we're in a place where it can be. If we're happy with the placement, we left click. This will put down the blueprint. We drive up to it with our construction vehicle and start hammering in the construction materials. Now that the light vehicle assembly station has been built, we can hop out of the CV and walk up to it. If we press E to open its menu, we can see in the middle there is the production panel where we can choose what to produce. If we want to produce the material palette, for instance, we need 25 basic materials and it will take 5 seconds. If we hover over the letterback, we can see that we need a normal truck and 10 construction materials and that it will take 5 minutes. If we hover over the Mineseeker or the small gauge locomotive, we can see that we need 125 construction materials, 10 assembly materials type 1 and 20 assembly material type 2. And we can keep hovering over the icons to see what we need. On the right side, we have the stockpile. In the stockpile, you should store the materials that are needed for the production of your different vehicles or upgraded vehicles. In the status panel, we can see that the light vehicle assembly station needs 20 megawatts of power. We can also see there is a progress bar which will start displaying the progress of whatever you're building on the assembly floor. And there are different upgrades, and if we hover over them, we can see that there is the motor pool upgrade, which will allow you to upgrade the armored cars and LUVs. There is the rocket factory, which will allow you to make half-tracks and rocket vehicles. There is the field station, which allows you to make the harvester and upgrade the scout tank and make a heavy field cannon. And there is the tank factory, which makes it possible for you to upgrade your tanks. To upgrade a truck, we come to the light vehicle assembly station and we press E to open it up. We hover over the upgrade we want. Let's say we want a Land Runner. We can see that it requires the normal truck, so we need to put a normal truck on the assembly floor. And we need 10 construction materials and it will take 5 minutes. So first off, we put the 10 construction materials from our backpack into the stockpile of the light vehicle assembly station. We go right click on the construction materials and say submit all to stockpile. That should put them in. We make sure that there is ample power. There is. We need 2 megawatts and we have 2 megawatts. We then hop into the truck that we're going to upgrade and we drive it onto the assembly floor. We hop out and we press E to open the menu of the light vehicle assembly station. And if we are sure that we want to go for the Land Runner upgrade, we simply left click on the Land Runner upgrade and that will start the animation that is going to upgrade our truck into a Land Runner truck. If we open up the menu, we can see that in the status panel, there is the progress bar. The progress bar will move during the assembly of the Land Runner. Just be aware that the light vehicle assembly station needs to have power throughout the process. When the assembly is done, we can simply come up to the driver's seat, press Q to hop in and drive it off. And just as with vehicles built in the garage or pulled out of storage, once they are done, they come with 10 liters of diesel in their tank. So we refuel our truck and then we can hop in and drive off. When we have all the materials ready to make our small gauge locomotive, that is 125 construction materials, 10 assembly material type 1 and 20 assembly materials type 2. We can transport them to our light vehicle assembly station. So we start gathering up our materials. We make sure that we have 125 construction materials. We need 10 assembly material type 2. And since these are large items, they will take up one slot in our truck, so we will have to do a second haul. Then we drive up to the light vehicle assembly station. We right click on one of the materials in our truck and in the drop down menu select the submit all to stockpile. That will fill the stockpile with these materials. Now that all the necessary materials are in the light vehicle assembly station, we make sure that the light vehicle assembly station is powered. We need 2 megawatts of power, and we have 2 megawatts of power currently, so we can start production. To start production, we come to the production panel and we click the BMS Mineseeker, and as we can see, that will start the production of the small gauge locomotive. If we open the light vehicle assembly station, we can track the progress of the assembly of the small gauge locomotive. During the assembly of the locomotive, the light vehicle assembly station will draw the necessary materials one by one from the stockpile, so be wary that you don't take out the necessary materials, otherwise the light vehicle assembly station can't finish the assembly. Another thing to keep in mind is to make sure that the light vehicle assembly station stays powered throughout the process. To upgrade the light vehicle assembly station, we press E to open up its menu, and if we look in the upgrades menu, we can see that if, for instance, we want the field station, we need 25 processed construction materials. And that will allow us to make the harvester, upgrade the scout tank, and upgrade the heavy field cannon. To be able to upgrade the light vehicle assembly station, the processed construction materials need to be in the inventory of the light vehicle assembly station, not in the stockpile. So we just left click, that will put the processed construction materials into the inventory. We need 11 more. We put these in as well, and as soon as we have 25 processed construction materials, we hop out of our truck to be able to modify the structure. We press E to open a light vehicle assembly station. Again, we go to the upgrades panel and we left click on the field station, and we can see that we're modifying the structure right now. And now that the modification is done, the model of the light vehicle assembly station changes. And if we press E to open its menu, we can see that in the production panel, we got 3 new recipes. One is to make the scrap hauler, which will use 90 processed construction materials and 25 assembly materials type 4. And needs 15 minutes of production time. There is the King Gallant MK2, which is a upgrade of the King Spire scout tank. That will require 5 processed construction materials and 5 assembly materials type 3. And there is the possibility, even though the tech is not there yet, to upgrade the Field AT gun.